Hello everyone, I'm going to do a presentation of my paper with the title of Behavior Determination of Urban Farming Adoption in Malaysia, a qualitative study using a theory of planet behavior. My name is Faghiri, and I go very fast into the for the background of the study. As you know that we have a rapid urbanization in Malaysia and all around the world, which creating issues over the food production, because normally food produced on the rural area, and more people come to the cities than who's supposed to produce food for them. We have issues over the conventional agriculture, which is impact a lot of on land and also using a lot of environment and natural resources, which we have a problem over that. And in the context of Malaysia, Malaysia relies on a lot of heavy importing food production from all around the world. And we can consider urban farming as one of the solutions can mitigate these challenges and the problems. As for research motivation, we can consider urban farming adoption remains very low in Malaysia due to a lot of factors. For example, we don't have the constant initiative program plans and so on, and we have limited instructional support for the urban farming, and we have some sort of behavioral perceptions which people don't consider, for example, urban farming as a serious case and so on. And in this study, we try to use the theory of planet behavior, which knows that what is the motivation factors can support this industry in the future. Theory of planet behavior has three main components, which is attitude for perceived benefits. It's like, for example, what is related to a person as a person who, for example, wants to do the things and so on. It's like for our context, it's like freshness and health, and environment, and so on. And subjective norms is like something beyond outside of that person. It's like to the family, community, social influence, and so on. And then perceived behavioral controls, which is considered like the limitations, is like space, time, skill, and cost. Which this framework, which is quite suitable to evaluate the urban farming in terms of behavior to venture into urban farming in Malaysia. As a methodology, we use qualitative design with the semi-structured interviews. We collect the data from 50 participants from the major cities in Peninsular Malaysia. Is a purposive snowball sampling age more than 20, including different sectors, different peoples, different age, different level of education, incomes, and so on, because we want to go for the whole public. And then we use a hybrid inductive, deductive, thematic analysis. We're using NVivo 14. And which we stop the sampling when we reach the saturation point for data collection. Regarding to the findings for the attitude part, the positive evaluation driven by the food freshness, reduce the chemical exposure, providing environmental contribution, and rising supermarket prices. So means that people think about, oh, okay, I get a better quality food, more fresh, and I no need to buy expensive food from the supermarket. So it considered the most strongest determination of interest for the citizen to go into the urban farming in Malaysia. In the about the subjective norms, so we observe that the family encouragement to do some sort of the gardening and so on due to a lot of culture things I observe also people really love to go for something green, and then some sort of social media visibilities and so on, and also community gardening was another factors that helping and supporting people to venture into, for example, urban farming, or encourage them to do this type of activities in Malaysia. For the perceived behavior control, the key constraints come to the limited space in high density housing area. Many of the participants mentioned that there is no area to do urban farming, and they have also a lot of busy schedule, so they don't have time to venture into, for example, urban farming. They already have their own jobs to do, and they have also lack of horticulture or plantation skills, and due to the climate also we have huge pest and humidity concern in tropics area, especially in the lowland, which consider as limitation, and the ones who stop them to venture into urban farming activities. As an additional emerging from the terms that we consider non-monetary benefits, something like the stress reduction, family bonding, educational levels, and so on, consider all the main factors that encourage people to look into the urban farming activities. Awareness, such as concern about the low national self-sufficiency ratios, environment challenges, and so on, is another factors that really encouraging people to look into that. And the monetary interest considered as a secondary factors. Not many of the participants look into urban farming as a real business, and they consider it as a hobby activities or something, then do some contributions. So the barriers is mostly structural. It's like land issues or knowledge issues and so on. This is not like really they don't have motivation to do that. Mostly they really motivated to go into these activities, but they consider that some sort of barriers in terms of land or investment and so on would be the factors that they need to consider before step into these activities. As a conclusion, I can say that there is a high willingness to adopt urban farming among urban citizens in Malaysia. Almost everybody, 50 people, 50 participants, all they are interested and they want to do it. And they are considering social visibility, health, and environmental values, uh, which is encourage them to step into these activities. But they were thinking that whether it's feasible or no, because limitation of the land or support from the governments or investments and so on. This is the most concern. But if we provide, for example, targeted training, providing a better technology, and we have some better policies and so on to support these activities, we can consider that the urban farming can shift from the hobby scale, which is today is as a hobby scale, to a really significant activities in the future, and would be a really right way to step into another era of producing food, which is not rely on import anymore and not rely on rural area. So we will have a very good future, since there is a willingness over there, and people just worry about where I can get the money or how I can, for example, do the things and so on. And if I don't know how to settle, for example, I think this type of limitation, actually, in my point of view, is not considered as a limitation. It's just as an area that we can study more, and we consider proper training program, proper technology, and proper uh, uh, rules or regulations and support from the governments and financial organization. That is my presentation. Thank you so much.